December Angel Message. Someone is afraid of your next move. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because December didn't bring you here by accident. This moment found you because something inside you is shifting in a way the universe recognizes as irreversible. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to steady you. Listen closely. Someone is afraid of your next move, not because you're about to do something reckless. Not because you're being impulsive, but because your energy has changed in a way they can no longer read, predict, or influence. Don't scroll, because this matters more than you realize. Your calm has become unfamiliar to people who were used to your uncertainty. Your silence has become unsettling to those who relied on your explanations. Your grounded presence has become intimidating to those who benefited from you staying small. Listen to this. Fear doesn't always show up as confrontation. Sometimes it shows up as nervousness, distance, subtle tension, or sudden interest where there was once indifference. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. December is a month of reckoning, not punishment, alignment, not chaos, and the reason someone feels uneasy is because they can sense you are about to choose yourself without asking for permission. Listen to this. You may have felt it already. A quiet clarity replacing old overthinking, a sense that you don't need to explain your decisions anymore, a feeling that whatever you do next will be done from truth, not fear. Don't scroll, because this inner shift is louder in the spiritual realm than any announcement you could make. Listen to this. When your nervous system settles, when your intuition sharpens, when your boundaries become natural instead of forced, it sends a signal, and people who relied on your hesitation feel it immediately. Don't scroll, because this message is not about making you suspicious of others, it's about helping you trust yourself. Listen to this. The fear around you is not because you're wrong, it's because you're right on time. People are rarely afraid of change itself. They're afraid of losing access to the version of you that was easier to manage. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this truth right now. The version of you that doubted, delayed, waited, or overextended is no longer in control. And that shift changes dynamics without you saying a word. Listen to this. The universe has been preparing you for this moment through subtle signs, angel numbers appearing when you least expect them, 1111 when you think about taking a leap, reminding you alignment is active, 333 when you feel supported but unsure, signaling divine assistance, 555 when you sense change approaching, confirming transformation is unavoidable, 888 when your confidence rises, signaling power and self-worth returning. Don't scroll, because these signs aren't about the future only. They're about confirming who you are becoming right now. Listen to this. Your spiritual awakening has made you quieter but stronger, calmer but more decisive, softer but less flexible about your boundaries, and that combination is powerful. Don't scroll, because power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, and whispers carry farther than noise in the spiritual realm. Listen to this. Someone connected to you emotionally, romantically, or energetically can feel that your next move won't be influenced by guilt, fear, or old attachments, and that realization unsettles them. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. You are not responsible for their discomfort. Growth often makes others uncomfortable before it inspires them. Listen to this. Soulmate energy is sensitive to shifts like this. Whether it's a past connection, a current relationship, or someone watching from a distance, they can feel that you are no longer orbiting around them, you are moving on your own path. Don't scroll, because alignment doesn't negotiate, it proceeds. Listen to this. December energy strips illusions. It shows people who you really are becoming, not through confrontation, but through consistency, through your ability to remain steady while others feel restless. Don't scroll, because restlessness in others is often a response to your stability. Listen to this. You may notice people testing you subtly, reaching out unexpectedly, asking questions they never asked before, or pulling away without explanation. Don't scroll, because these reactions are not random. They are responses to your energetic boundary solidifying. Listen to this. Heaven does not move you forward without revealing who is uncomfortable with your growth, not to create conflict, but to give you clarity. Don't scroll, because clarity protects you from self-doubt. Listen to this. Your next move doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be announced. It doesn't have to be explained. It just has to be true, and truth carries weight whether you speak it or not. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this grounding right now. You are not being impulsive. You are being guided. You are not abandoning anyone. You are honoring yourself. Listen to this. When you choose alignment, some people feel left behind, but that doesn't mean you slowed down. It means you stopped shrinking. Don't scroll, because shrinking was never your destiny. Listen to this. Destiny responds to readiness, not noise, and readiness feels like calm certainty, not adrenaline. Don't scroll, because your calm is the confirmation. Listen to this. The reason this message feels personal is because it is. It's meant to remind you that you don't need to justify your next chapter to anyone who only knew you in survival mode. Don't scroll, because survival is not your home anymore. Alignment is. Listen to this. The universe is not asking you to watch who's afraid and react. It's asking you to move anyway, gently, intentionally, without looking back. Don't scroll, because looking back invites doubt. Listen to this. Trust the signs. Trust the peace. Trust the quiet confidence building inside you, because that confidence is not ego. It's self-trust returning. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this final reassurance right now. Someone may be afraid of your next move, but heaven is not. Heaven is supporting it, protecting it, and guiding it. Listen to this. December is not closing doors for you. It's closing cycles, and what's ahead of you doesn't require approval from those who can't follow where you're going. Don't scroll. Breathe. Let this settle, because your next move is not just a step, it's a statement, and the statement is this. You are no longer available for the version of life that required you to stay unsure, small, or silent. You are moving forward in truth, and truth always unsettles what cannot grow with it. Don't scroll. Listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because what's happening next is not loud, it's not dramatic, but it is powerful enough to change the entire direction of your life. Stay with me, because this is the part where the universe explains why the fear around you is growing even though you've been getting calmer. Listen closely. The person who is afraid of your next move isn't afraid because they know what you're going to do. They're afraid because they don't know anymore, and that loss of certainty is shaking them. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this clarity right now. There was a time when your energy was readable, predictable, accessible. People knew how to pull a reaction from you, how to keep you waiting, how to influence your decisions through emotion, obligation, or history. But listen to this. That version of you is gone. And the absence of that version is louder than any announcement you could make. Don't scroll, because when you stop explaining yourself, people who relied on explanations start panicking. Listen to this. Your silence now is not emptiness, it's intention. Your calm is not indifference, it's clarity, and your boundaries are no longer defenses, they are natural extensions of your self-respect. Don't scroll, because this shift is what's making someone nervous. They can feel that whatever you choose next won't be negotiated, bargained, or guilt out of you. Listen to this. Fear shows up When control slips away, and control only exists where insecurity once lived, don't scroll, because your heart needs this grounding right now. December energy exposes power dynamics quietly. It shows who was comfortable when you doubted yourself and who becomes unsettled when you stand steady. Listen to this. The universe has been preparing you for this moment, not by giving you answers, but by giving you peace. And peace is the clearest sign that alignment has taken over. Don't scroll, because alignment doesn't rush, it proceeds confidently. Listen to this. You may notice subtle reactions from others, a change in tone, sudden curiosity, emotional unpredictability, or even withdrawal, and you might be tempted to wonder if you did something wrong. Don't scroll, because you didn't. You simply stopped doing what kept them comfortable. Listen to this. Comfort built on your self-doubt was never sustainable. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. Your next move doesn't require confrontation, it requires commitment to yourself, and that commitment is what's being felt before it's seen. Listen to this. Soulmate-level connections feel this shift the strongest, whether it's someone from your past, someone currently in your life, or someone watching quietly from a distance, because soulmate energy is sensitive to authenticity, and authenticity cannot be manipulated. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this truth right now. You are no longer operating from fear of loss, you are operating from trust and alignment, and that changes how people respond to you. Listen to this. When you stop needing validation, others feel exposed in their intentions. Don't scroll, because this is not about making anyone the villain. It's about recognizing that growth changes relationships. Listen to this. The universe has been speaking to you through signs meant to stabilize you, not excite you. Repeating numbers showing up when you choose calm over reaction. 11. 11 appearing when you think about your future as a reminder that alignment is active. 333 showing up when you feel unsure as a signal that guidance is surrounding you. 555 when you sense movement coming, confirming that change is already underway. 8. 88 when you feel stronger in yourself, signaling power and abundance returning. Don't scroll, because these numbers are not telling you to wait, they're telling you to trust. Listen to this. Trust that your next move is protected even if it's not understood. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this grounding right now. Someone is afraid because they sense you're no longer available for emotional loops, mixed signals, or delayed clarity. And that awareness unsettles people who benefited from your patience without commitment. Listen to this. Patience without boundaries teaches others that time can replace effort, but that lesson has ended. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this truth right now. Your next move is not about leaving people behind, it's about finally walking at your own pace. Listen to this. Walking at your own pace exposes who was never meant to keep up. Don't scroll, because heaven does not slow you down to make others comfortable. Listen to this. You may feel moments of hesitation, not because you're unsure, but because you're aware of the weight of your choice, and awareness is not doubt, it's responsibility. Don't scroll, because responsibility is what separates impulse from destiny. Listen to this. Destiny feels calm even when it's bold. Don't scroll, because boldness doesn't always shout. Sometimes it moves quietly and changes everything. Listen to this. The reason this message keeps pulling you in is because your soul recognizes the truth in it. You already know something is ending and something is beginning, but you don't feel panicked about it anymore. You feel ready. Don't scroll, because readiness is rare. Listen to this. Someone's fear is not a sign to stop, it's a sign that movement has already begun. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. You are not abandoning compassion, you are choosing clarity. And clarity is the highest form of kindness to yourself. Listen to this. the universe is not asking you to explain your next step, it's asking you to take it, gently, honestly, without announcing it to people who are not meant to follow you into the next chapter. Don't scroll, because not everyone is meant to go with you. Listen to this. December energy is about closing cycles without drama, releasing roles you've outgrown, and stepping forward without apology. Don't scroll, because apology is not required when growth is genuine. Listen to this. Trust the peace you feel, trust the signs you've been seeing, trust the quiet strength building in your chest, because that strength is not temporary, it's the foundation of what comes next. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this final reassurance right now. Someone may be afraid of your next move, but that fear is not your burden to carry. Your responsibility is to honor the version of yourself that no longer negotiates with doubt. Listen to this. Heaven is not surprised by your growth, it's been preparing you for it, protecting you through it, and guiding you toward it. Don't scroll, because your next move is not reckless, it's aligned, it's intentional, and it's already supported. Breathe, stay present, let this truth settle. Because the moment you stop worrying about who's afraid is the moment your path opens fully, and what's waiting for you on the other side of this move is far greater than anything that feels threatened by your becoming. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because what you're stepping into next isn't just movement, it's momentum, and momentum changes how everything around you reacts. Stay with me, because this is where the universe explains why the fear you feel around you is getting louder even as your inner world gets quieter. Listen closely. The fear isn't about what you might do. It's about what you will no longer tolerate, and that shift is seismic. Don't scroll, because this matters more than you think. There was a time when people could read you easily, anticipate your responses, rely on your empathy to soften your boundaries, but listen to this, that predictability is gone, and unpredictability rooted in self-trust unsettles anyone who depended on your emotional availability. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this grounding right now. Your next move isn't reactive, it's resolved, and resolved energy doesn't explain itself, it proceeds. Listen to this. You may notice that you're no longer rehearsing conversations in your head, no longer preparing defenses, no longer anticipating how others will react to your choices, and that's not apathy, that's alignment. Don't scroll, because alignment frees you from the need to manage perceptions. Listen to this. Someone feels afraid because they can no longer sense hesitation in you. They can't feel you checking in emotionally. They can't feel you waiting for reassurance, and that absence is loud. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. The universe didn't remove your softness, it strengthened your spine. Listen to this. Strength doesn't make noise, it changes gravity, and gravity affects everything in its field. Don't scroll, because people who were comfortable orbiting your uncertainty feel the pull shifting. Listen to this. December energy is clarifying power dynamics without confrontation, it's showing you who thrived when you doubted yourself and who gets uneasy when you stand steady. Don't scroll, because this isn't about judging anyone, it's about seeing clearly. Listen to this. Seeing clearly allows you to move without guilt, and guilt was the last tether holding you in place. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this truth right now. Guilt is not intuition, it's conditioning. Listen to this. Your spiritual awakening didn't make you colder, it made you clearer. You now feel the difference between compassion and self-sacrifice, between patience and self-betrayal, between love and attachment. Don't scroll, because those distinctions change how you live. Listen to this. Someone's fear is rooted in the realization that your next step won't be reversible, not because you're cutting people off, but because you're stepping into a version of yourself that doesn't go backward. Don't scroll, because growth only moves forward. Listen to this. You may sense attempts to pull your attention back, subtle check-ins. Emotional cues, sudden nostalgia, or even silence meant to provoke a reaction. Don't scroll, because these are tests of access, not signs of alignment. Listen to this. Aligned connections don't test your boundaries, they respect them. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reminder right now. You are not required to respond to everything that reaches for you. Listen to this. Responsiveness is not the same as availability. And availability without discernment drains your power. Don't scroll, because your power is what's being protected right now. Listen to this. The universe has been confirming your readiness through signs meant to calm you, not rush you. Repeating numbers appearing when you choose restraint over reaction. 1111 when you imagine a future that feels peaceful instead of dramatic. 333 when you feel supported in moments of uncertainty. 555 when you sense change approaching without fear. 888 when confidence returns quietly. Don't scroll, because these signs aren't pushing you forward, they're anchoring you so you don't second-guess your steps. Listen to this. Your next move doesn't need urgency. Urgency belongs to fear. Destiny moves with certainty. Don't scroll, because certainty feels calm. Listen to this. The reason this message keeps you listening is because your soul recognizes that something has already shifted. Even if nothing external has happened yet, don't scroll. Because internal shifts precede external change. Listen to this. Someone's fear is not your responsibility to manage. You are not here to reassure others at the expense of your alignment. Don't scroll, because alignment requires honesty with yourself. Listen to this. Honesty means acknowledging that you've outgrown certain roles, dynamics, and expectations, even if they once felt safe. Don't scroll, because safety that requires shrinking is not safety. Listen to this. Your heart needs this truth right now. The universe is not punishing anyone by moving you forward, it's honoring the work you've done. Listen to this. The work of sitting with discomfort, choosing restraint, healing old patterns, and learning to trust your intuition instead of external approval. Don't scroll, because that work has earned momentum. Listen to this. Momentum doesn't ask permission, it unfolds naturally once resistance ends. Don't scroll, because resistance ended the moment you stopped arguing with your inner knowing. Listen to this. Your next move may feel simple on the outside, a decision, a boundary, a redirection of energy, but spiritually it's massive. Don't scroll, because simplicity doesn't mean insignificance. Listen to this. Often the most powerful shifts are the quietest. Don't scroll, because quiet power doesn't need witnesses. Listen to this. Someone is afraid because they sense you're no longer negotiating your worth, your time, or your peace, and that realization forces them to confront their own position in your life. Don't scroll, because confrontation doesn't always happen out loud, sometimes it happens internally. Listen to this. Internal confrontation is uncomfortable, especially for those who benefited from you staying available without commitment. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. You are not being selfish, you are being self-honoring. Listen to this. Self-honor changes what you attract. Aligned opportunities, aligned relationships, aligned love, all respond to self-trust. Don't scroll, because self-trust is magnetic. Listen to this. The universe is not asking you to announce your next move, it's asking you to embody it. Don't scroll, because embodiment speaks louder than explanation. Listen to this. December is not about rushing into the new, it's about closing the old cleanly so nothing follows you forward unfinished. Don't scroll, because unfinished emotional business weighs down destiny. Listen to this. Your calm is a sign that closure is already happening internally. Don't scroll, because closure doesn't always require endings, sometimes it requires understanding. Listen to this. Understanding is when you stop asking why others feel the way they do and start honoring how you feel now. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this clarity right now. Whatever fear you sense around you is simply evidence that your energy has changed. Not that you should change course. Listen to this. If your path makes others uncomfortable, it's often because they can't walk it with you. Don't scroll, because not everyone is meant to. Listen to this. Destiny is not a group decision, it's a personal alignment. Don't scroll, because alignment requires courage. Listen to this. Courage doesn't feel like confidence at first, it feels like quiet resolve, and resolve is what you're carrying now. Don't scroll, because that resolve is protected, guided, and intentional. Listen to this. Heaven doesn't move you forward until you're ready to stay forward. Don't scroll, because you are ready. Listen to this. Your next move will feel natural once you make it, not shocking, not dramatic, just right. Don't scroll, because just right is the language of alignment. Listen to this. Stay present. Trust the calm. Trust the signs. Trust the inner knowing that no longer needs reassurance, because that knowing is your compass now. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this final reassurance right now. Someone may be afraid of your next move, but you don't need to slow down for their comfort. You are not here to remain understandable to everyone, you are here to remain true to yourself, and that truth is already guiding your steps, even before you take them. Don't scroll. Listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because what you're standing in is the moment right before everything changes without making a sound, and the universe wants you steady enough to recognize power when it's quiet. Stay with me, because this is where fear around you sharpens while certainty within you deepens. Listen closely. The reason someone is afraid of your next move is not because they know what you're about to do, it's because they can feel that whatever you choose next will come from a place they can't influence anymore. Don't scroll, because this is important. There was a season when your energy checked in with others before it checked in with yourself, when you softened your truth to avoid tension, when you waited for emotional cues before making decisions. But listen to this. That season has ended, and endings don't always announce themselves. They shift the atmosphere. Don't scroll, because atmosphere is everything. Listen to this. Your presence now carries a different weight. You speak less but mean more. You react slower but choose stronger. You move quieter but with more conviction, and people who were comfortable when you were unsure can feel that certainty closing in on them. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this grounding right now. Fear shows up when access changes, and access has changed, not because you blocked anyone out, but because you stopped leaving doors open that drained you. Listen to this. Open doors without boundaries invite chaos, but doors with intention invite alignment. Don't scroll, because alignment is what you've stepped into. Listen to this. December energy doesn't rush people forward, it crystallizes truth. It makes it impossible to keep pretending, and someone around you can feel that you're no longer pretending to be smaller, easier, or more flexible than you really are. Don't scroll, because flexibility without self-respect becomes self-erasure. Listen to this. You are no longer erasing yourself to keep dynamics comfortable, and that makes others uncomfortable. Don't scroll, because discomfort is not danger, it's adjustment. Listen to this. The universe is not asking you to manage anyone's emotions during this shift, it's asking you to stay present in your own body, your own choices, your own truth. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. Staying present is what keeps you from being pulled back into old patterns. Listen to this. You may notice that your instincts are sharper, quicker, less clouded by emotion, and that's not because you've become cold, it's because you've become clear. Don't scroll, because clarity is warmth without chaos. Listen to this. Someone feels afraid because clarity removes leverage, it removes emotional bargaining, it removes the ability to delay, distract, or confuse you. Don't scroll, because confusion was once a tool. Listen to this. When you were confused, others could move at their pace. Now that you're clear, timing is no longer negotiable. Don't scroll, because this message is not here to turn you against anyone, it's here to remind you that growth changes power dynamics whether people are ready or not. Listen to this. Your spiritual awakening didn't happen to isolate you, it happened to align you, and alignment naturally filters who can walk with you and who cannot. Don't scroll, because filtering is not rejection, it's refinement. Listen to this. Refined energy feels different. It doesn't chase, it doesn't prove, it doesn't argue, it decides. Don't scroll, because decisions made from calm are the most intimidating to those who rely on emotional reactions. Listen to this. You may sense attempts to pull you back into old conversations, old emotional loops, old versions of yourself, subtle nostalgia, sudden vulnerability, or even silence meant to provoke you. Don't scroll, because not everything that reaches for you deserves a response. Listen to this. Discernment is knowing when to stay silent without guilt. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this truth right now. Silence from clarity is not avoidance, it's protection. Listen to this. Protection doesn't always look like walls, sometimes it looks like stillness. Don't scroll, because stillness reveals who is uneasy when they can no longer move you. Listen to this. The universe has been confirming your readiness through signs meant to calm you, not push you. Repeating numbers appearing when you choose restraint over reaction, when you pause instead of rushing, when you trust instead of forcing. Don't scroll, because these signs are anchoring you in timing. Listen to this. Timing is what separates destiny from impulse. Don't scroll, because your next move is destined, not impulsive. Listen to this. Destiny does not feel frantic, it feels inevitable. Don't scroll, because inevitability is what others sense. Listen to this. They can feel that whatever you choose next will stand, that you won't undo it out of guilt, fear, or pressure, and that realization creates anxiety in those who benefited from your flexibility. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this grounding right now. Flexibility without self-trust leads to burnout. Listen to this. You've learned that lesson, and learning it changed your energy permanently. Don't scroll, because lessons integrated don't repeat. Listen to this. You may feel moments of doubt, not because you're unsure, but because growth always asks you to release familiar roles, and release can feel like loss before it feels like freedom. Don't scroll, because freedom often feels quiet at first. Listen to this. Quiet freedom is powerful. It doesn't announce itself, it rearranges everything around it. Don't scroll, because rearrangement makes people nervous. Listen to this. The universe is not asking you to explain your rearrangement. It's asking you to trust it. Don't scroll, because explanation invites debate. Alignment does not. Listen to this. You are not required to be understood by everyone to be right for yourself. Don't scroll, because understanding is not the goal, integrity is. Listen to this. Integrity is when your actions match your inner truth even when no one is watching. Don't scroll, because integrity changes the way destiny responds to you. Listen to this. Destiny responds to congruence. When your inner and outer worlds match, opportunities, people, and paths align without force. Don't scroll, because force was never your role. Listen to this. Someone's fear is simply evidence that you're no longer easy to read, manage, or predict, and that's not a flaw, it's a sign of sovereignty. Don't scroll, because sovereignty is the result of self-trust. Listen to this. Self-trust was built through every moment you chose not to abandon yourself, even when it would have been easier. Don't scroll, because those moments added up. Listen to this. Your next move may feel simple on the outside. A boundary, a decision, a redirection of energy, but spiritually it's massive. Don't scroll, because massive shifts don't need spectacle. Listen to this. The universe is not asking you to rush, it's asking you to remain steady. Don't scroll, because steadiness keeps you protected as you move forward. Listen to this. You are not responsible for who feels afraid. You are responsible for honoring the version of yourself that no longer negotiates with doubt. Don't scroll, because that version is the one heaven responds to. Listen to this. Heaven doesn't fear your next move, it supports it, guides it, and clears the path for it. Don't scroll, because your path is opening quietly. Listen to this. When you stop worrying about reactions, clarity accelerates. Don't scroll, because reactions are distractions. Listen to this. Your focus now belongs on alignment, not approval. Don't scroll, because approval fades. Alignment lasts. Listen to this. December is not closing you in, it's opening you up by closing cycles that drained you. Don't scroll, because closure without drama is still closure. Listen to this. You don't need permission to evolve, you don't need agreement to grow, and you don't need to explain why your next move feels right. Don't scroll, because feeling right is enough. Listen to this. Trust the calm, trust the restraint, trust the inner knowing that no longer argues with itself, because that knowing is your compass now. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this. Final reassurance right now. Someone may be afraid of your next move, but that fear is simply proof that you are no longer standing still. You are moving with intention, and intention backed by alignment cannot be stopped, slowed, or undone. Breathe, stay present, let this settle, because what's ahead of you is not chaos, it's clarity taking form, and clarity always makes waves before it reshapes the shore. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because what you're entering is the phase where truth no longer negotiates with fear, it simply moves, and the universe wants you grounded enough to recognize how powerful that is. Stay with me, because this is the layer where everything clicks into place without noise. Listen closely. The reason someone is afraid of your next move is not because they sense confrontation, it's because they sense completion, and completion ends leverage. Don't scroll, because this matters. There was a time when your energy lingered, when you waited for clarity to arrive from outside yourself, when you stayed emotionally available even when reciprocity was thin. But listen to this. That availability has transformed into selectivity, and selectivity changes everything. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this grounding right now. Selectivity doesn't mean closing off, it means choosing alignment over obligation. Listen to this. You are no longer moved by urgency that isn't yours, you're no longer pulled into conversations that don't honor your truth, and that shift is felt even by those who aren't consciously aware of it. Don't scroll, because energy speaks before words. Listen to this. Someone feels afraid because they can no longer sense hesitation in you. They can't feel you checking the room emotionally before deciding. They can't feel you shrinking to keep things smooth, and that absence of self-abandonment is destabilizing to people who were comfortable when you bent. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. Bending was never flexibility, it was survival. Listen to this. And survival patterns don't survive awakening. Don't scroll, because awakening doesn't announce itself, it reorganizes priorities. Listen to this, your priorities are clearer now. Peace over approval, truth over convenience, alignment over attachment, and those priorities. Silently redraw the map of your relationships. Don't scroll, because maps changing make people nervous. Listen to this, December energy doesn't ask you to rush into anything, it asks you to stand firmly where you are so the next step reveals itself naturally. Don't scroll, because natural movement is harder to stop than forced action. Listen to this, you may notice that you're no longer overthinking outcomes. You're more focused on integrity, on whether your choices feel clean, honest, and sustainable, and that focus is what others sense. Don't scroll, because integrity makes manipulation impossible. Listen to this, manipulation only works where doubt exists, and doubt no longer has a home in you. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this clarity right now. Someone's fear is not about losing you as a person, it's about losing access to your emotional labor. Listen to this. Emotional labor without mutuality was costing you more than you realized. Don't scroll, because cost always shows up as exhaustion, confusion, or self-doubt. Listen to this, you no longer feel that drain, and that absence is noticeable. Don't scroll, because when you stop bleeding energy, others notice the quiet strength that replaces it. Listen to this, the universe has been confirming this shift through subtle signs meant to anchor you, not excite you. Repeating numbers appearing when you choose restraint instead of reaction. When you pause before responding, when you trust your inner no. Don't scroll, because those pauses are sacred. Listen to this, pauses are where destiny catches up to intention. Don't scroll, because intention without pause becomes impulse. Listen to this, your next move is not impulsive, it's integrated. It's the sum of lessons learned, boundaries strengthened, and self-trust rebuilt. Don't scroll, because integration is what makes change last. Listen to this. Someone senses that whatever you choose next will stick, that you won't circle back out of guilt or nostalgia, and that realization creates fear. Don't scroll, because nostalgia is often used to reopen doors that should remain closed. Listen to this, you can honor the past without reopening it. Don't scroll, because honoring doesn't require access. Listen to this, access is earned through alignment, not history. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this truth right now. The universe is not asking you to burn bridges. It's asking you to stop living on them. Listen to this, bridges are meant for crossing, not dwelling. Don't scroll, because dwelling keeps you suspended between versions of yourself. Listen to this, you've crossed internally, even if externally things look the same, and internal crossings are irreversible. Don't scroll, because once your inner world shifts, the outer world must follow. Listen to this, you may feel moments of tenderness mixed with firmness, compassion paired with clarity, and that balance is the hallmark of maturity. Don't scroll, because maturity is not rigidity, it's discernment. Listen to this, discernment allows you to choose what deserves your energy without resentment. Don't scroll, because resentment comes from overgiving. Listen to this, you're no longer overgiving, you're offering from fullness, and fullness does not feel urgent. Don't scroll, because urgency belongs to lack. Listen to this. Someone's fear is rooted in the realization that they can no longer delay, distract, or deflect your growth. Don't scroll, because growth that has momentum cannot be stalled by opinion. Listen to this, the universe is not testing you now, it's trusting you, trusting that you won't abandon your alignment to make others comfortable. Don't scroll, because comfort built on your discomfort was never fair. Listen to this, fairness begins with self-honoring. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. Self-honoring doesn't require confrontation. It requires consistency. listen to this, consistency is what makes your next move powerful, not its size or visibility. Don't scroll, because small, consistent shifts outlast dramatic gestures. Listen to this, your next move might look ordinary to others, a boundary held, a decision made, a direction chosen, but spiritually it's a declaration. Don't scroll, because declarations don't always need words. Listen to this, embodiment is louder than explanation. Don't scroll, because explanation invites negotiation, embodiment ends it. Listen to this, someone is afraid because negotiation is no longer available. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this grounding right now. You are not responsible for soothing reactions to your growth, you are responsible for honoring the life that's unfolding through you. Listen to this, life moves forward, not sideways. Don't scroll, because sideways movement is stagnation. Listen to this, December is not about starting something new prematurely. It's about closing what no longer aligns so nothing follows you forward unfinished. Don't scroll, because unfinished emotional business drains momentum. Listen to this, your calm is a sign that closure is already happening within you. Don't scroll, because closure doesn't always require endings, sometimes it requires understanding. Listen to this, understanding is when you stop asking why others feel threatened and start honoring how you feel grounded. Don't scroll, because your grounding is the point. Listen to this, whatever fear you sense around you is simply evidence that your energy has changed, not that you should doubt your path. Don't scroll, because doubt is not intuition. Listen to this, intuition feels steady, quiet, and clear. Don't scroll, because that's what you're feeling now. Listen to this, trust the calm, trust the restraint, trust the inner knowing that no longer argues with itself, because that knowing is your compass. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this final reassurance right now. Someone may be afraid of your next move, but that fear does not get to decide your direction. Your direction is set by alignment, and alignment is already carrying you forward, gently, deliberately, and exactly on time. Don't scroll, listen to this, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because what you're stepping into is the moment where alignment becomes visible without you lifting a finger, and the universe wants you calm enough to recognize what's happening instead of questioning it. Stay with me, because this is the layer where fear around you peaks just before it dissolves. Listen closely. Someone is afraid of your next move not because they expect drama, but because they sense finality, the kind that doesn't argue, explain, or come back around. Don't scroll, because this matters more than you think. Finality doesn't always look like an ending, sometimes it looks like decisiveness, like peace that doesn't waver when tested, like silence that isn't punishment but certainty. Listen to this, there was a time when your emotions were accessible, when people could read your hesitation, feel your empathy leaning toward them, sense that with enough time or pressure you might bend. But don't scroll, because that access has closed quietly, and quiet closures are the hardest to challenge. Listen to this, your energy has become contained, not closed off, focused, not distant, selective, not unavailable, and that distinction is powerful. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this grounding right now. Containment is not fear, it's discernment. And discernment is what awakens when you finally trust yourself more than you trust reactions. Listen to this, the fear you feel around you is the fear of irrelevance, not rejection. People aren't afraid you'll disappear, they're afraid you'll no longer revolve. Don't scroll, because revolving around others was never your destiny. Listen to this, your destiny requires forward motion. And forward motion doesn't ask for consensus. Don't scroll, because consensus delays truth. Listen to this, December energy sharpens truth. It removes the emotional fog that allowed situations to linger longer than they should have, and someone connected to you can feel that fog lifting. Don't scroll, because clarity exposes dynamics that survived only in confusion. Listen to this. Confusion was once the buffer that kept things comfortable. Now clarity removes that buffer, and comfort built on imbalance always reacts when balance returns. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. Balance is not cruelty, it's correction. Listen to this. Correction feels threatening to those who benefited from imbalance. But it feels liberating to the one who was carrying the weight. Don't scroll, because you've been carrying weight longer than you realized. Listen to this. Your spiritual awakening didn't arrive with fireworks, it arrived with boundaries, with discernment, with the ability to pause instead of react, and that ability changed your entire frequency. Don't scroll, because frequency shifts are felt before they're understood. Listen to this. Someone is afraid because they can feel you've stopped negotiating your worth internally, and internal negotiations are what kept you tethered to situations that drained you. Don't scroll, because once internal negotiations end, external manipulation has nowhere to land. Listen to this. Manipulation requires uncertainty, and uncertainty no longer lives in you the way it used to. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this clarity right now. You may notice that you're less interested in explaining your choices, less concerned with being misunderstood, and more committed to being at peace. Listen to this. Peace doesn't need defense, it needs protection. Don't scroll, because protection is what you're practicing now. Listen to this. Protection doesn't always look like walls, sometimes it looks like pauses, delays, and choosing not to engage where you once would have overextended. Don't scroll, because restraint is a form of strength. Listen to this. The universe has been reinforcing this strength through subtle confirmations. Moments where choosing yourself felt right instead of selfish, moments where silence felt safer than words, moments where walking away internally brought relief instead of guilt. Don't scroll, because those moments were training. Listen to this. Training for a phase where your next move would be irreversible, not because it's extreme, but because it's aligned. Don't scroll, because alignment doesn't need to be revisited. Listen to this. Someone senses that once you move, you won't need to circle back to reassure them, to soften the impact, or to re-explain your reasoning, and that certainty makes them uneasy. Don't scroll, because certainty removes leverage. Listen to this. Leverage existed when you doubted yourself, when you sought understanding instead of honoring truth. Don't scroll, because truth doesn't require agreement. Listen to this. Your heart needs this reminder right now. Agreement is not the measure of correctness, alignment is. Don't scroll, because alignment feels steady even when it's uncomfortable for others. Listen to this. You may feel moments of emotional tenderness, compassion for those who feel unsettled by your growth, and that compassion is real, but compassion does not require self-betrayal. Don't scroll, because you can care without carrying. Listen to this. Carrying what isn't yours is what delayed your movement before. Don't scroll, because release creates momentum. Listen to this. Momentum doesn't shout, it hums, it pulls you forward gently, but persistently, and that hum is what others feel as threat. Don't scroll, because threat to old dynamics is not danger to you. Listen to this. The universe is not asking you to manage reactions, it's asking you to maintain congruence between your inner knowing and outer choices. Don't scroll, because congruence is what makes destiny cooperate. Listen to this. Destiny doesn't move for indecision, it moves for clarity. Don't scroll, because clarity is what you carry now. Listen to this. Your next move may look small on the surface, a boundary upheld, an offer declined, a direction chosen quietly, but spiritually it's monumental. Don't scroll, because monumental shifts don't need witnesses. Listen to this. Someone's fear is not a sign you should slow down. It's a sign you've stopped shrinking. Don't scroll, because shrinking kept others comfortable at your expense. Listen to this. Your heart needs this reassurance right now. You are not being unkind, you are being honest, and honesty has a frequency that cannot be ignored. Don't scroll, because honesty reorganizes relationships naturally. Listen to this. Those meant to walk with you adjust. Those who aren't reveal themselves through discomfort. Don't scroll, because revelation is not punishment, it's information. Listen to this. Information allows you to move without resentment, without confusion, without second-guessing. Don't scroll, because second-guessing was the anchor holding you in place. Listen to this. That anchor has been lifted. Don't scroll, because lifted anchors allow movement even in still waters. Listen to this. You may feel a quiet excitement beneath the calm, not adrenaline, but readiness, and readiness is the sign that timing has aligned. Don't scroll, because timing aligned is rare. Listen to this. The universe doesn't rush aligned movement, it clears obstacles ahead of it. Don't scroll, because clearing doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like emotional reactions surfacing around you. Listen to this. Reactions are resistance leaving the system. Don't scroll, because once resistance clears, movement accelerates naturally. Listen to this. Your role right now is simple but powerful. Stay grounded, stay honest, stay aligned. Don't scroll, because overthinking at this stage only reopens doors that are closing for a reason. Listen to this. You don't need to know every detail of what comes next to trust the direction. Don't scroll, because trust is built on evidence. And the evidence is your peace. Listen to this. Peace that holds even when others are uneasy is confirmation. Don't scroll, because confirmation doesn't always come from signs in the sky. Sometimes it comes from silence in the body. Listen to this. Your body knows you're ready. Don't scroll, because readiness is what allows destiny to meet you halfway. Listen to this. Someone may be afraid of your next move, but that fear is simply the echo of an old dynamic losing its grip. Don't scroll, because you are no longer gripped by what once held you. Listen to this. You are moving with intention now, and intention backed by self-trust is unstoppable. Don't scroll, because nothing meant for you will be blocked by someone else's discomfort. Listen to this. Heaven does not hesitate when alignment is present. Don't scroll, because alignment is present in you. Breathe. Stay here. Let this truth settle fully. Because what you're walking into is not chaos, it's clarity in motion, and clarity always makes those who relied on confusion feel uneasy just before it sets you free.